Across the country, the cost of simply staying healthy has become its own kind of pressure. A steady, quiet weight that people feel in the background of everyday life. Retirees, near retirees, remote workers, families, and anyone living on a fixed income often describe the same experience. The sense that healthcare is unpredictable, expensive, and sometimes just out of reach. Even in towns where housing feels manageable, medical bills, insurance gaps, or long drives to see a specialist can chip away at the stability people have spent decades building. But scattered across the map are small American cities that tell a gentler story, places where hospitals carry strong reputations, where wait times are reasonable, where primary care isn't a maze, and where the overall cost of living doesn't rise faster than a person's health needs. Some of these cities benefit from well-run regional medical systems. Others sit near respected university hospitals, and some rely on community-rooted networks that quietly deliver excellent outcomes without fanfare. In today's video, we'll explore 12 of these cities, not as glossy promises, but as grounded, real possibilities. We'll look at home prices, rental ranges, everyday affordability, hospital quality, access to primary care, and what day-to-day life actually feels like for the people who live there. And the city at number 1? It isn't just affordable or well-served. It reflects a deeper truth, that reliable healthcare isn't only a service, it's a form of peace, the kind that lets people breathe again. If peaceful, sustainable living speaks to you, subscribing truly helps this channel reach more people looking for the same calm. At number 12, we arrive in Grand Junction, where desert stillness meets the kind of regional healthcare depth you don't usually find in a small city. This is a place shaped by warm light, open mesas, and a pace that moves just a little slower than the busy world beyond the canyon walls. Grand Junction serves as the medical anchor for western Colorado and even parts of eastern Utah, giving it a level of care that quietly exceeds expectations. Two major hospitals, St. Mary's Medical Center and Community Hospital, form the backbone of a well-developed corridor that offers everything from strong primary care to specialty services that residents would otherwise have to drive hours to reach. For retirees and anyone managing chronic conditions, that proximity alone can feel like a breath out. Affordability here lands in a steady middle ground. Median home price, due are $460,000, Zillow, 2025 est. Rent for a modest 1 to 2 bedroom typically sits around $1,150 The overall cost of living runs slightly below the national average, though groceries and utilities can creep a bit higher than in nearby towns. Still, the balance of services, scenery, and stability tends to win people over. Grand Junction lives in 4 gentle seasons: cold but bright winters, fragrant high desert springs, warm golden summers, and long autumns where the light softens across the valley. Outdoor access, trails, river paths, and sandstone overlooks reduces the everyday stress that many viewers hope to leave behind. Tourist season does add some strain to local services, especially on weekends. But the city's healthcare system has long learned how to operate through the ebb and flow. And on a quiet Tuesday morning, you might see sunlight breaking over the red cliffs as clinic doors open without long lines. A simple, reassuring rhythm that shapes life here. At number 11, we step into Springfield, a city where affordability and medical infrastructure strike a rare, steady balance. It's the kind of place where the cost of living feels manageable, yet the level of care mirrors what you'd expect from a much larger metro. Springfield is anchored by 2 major healthcare systems, Cox Health and Mercy, whose presence shapes the city's rhythm as much as its universities and tree-lined neighborhoods. Together, they create a network of specialists, outpatient centers, and primary care clinics that serve not just Springfield, but much of southwest Missouri. For retirees, families, and anyone living on a fixed income, that kind of access removes a quiet layer of worry. Affordability remains one of Springfield's most defining strengths. Median home price, $235,000, Zillow, 2025 all right. A 1 to 2 bedroom rental typically ranges from $900 to $1,200, and the overall cost of living sits roughly 10–15% below the U.S. average. Day-to-day medical expenses, from prescriptions to primary care visits, tend to land on the lower end compared with similar cities, giving people room to breathe financially. Springfield does come with its own realities. The climate leans humid, especially in midsummer, and most daily errands require a car. But the city's walkable medical district softens that, placing clinics, labs, and specialists within a close, easy-to-navigate area. This is a place where life moves gently. Quiet neighborhoods, tall oaks shading older homes, and that familiar Midwestern feeling that things somehow hold steady. And if you picture yourself strolling down those tree-lined streets toward a hospital district that rarely feels overwhelming, you'll understand why Springfield earns its spot here: practical, grounded, and quietly dependable. At number 10, Greenville greets us with mountain air, leafy streets, and a medical system that quietly outperforms its size. This is a southern small city where modern care blends so naturally with everyday charm that people often feel healthier just living here. Greenville's medical backbone is Prisma Health Upstate, a major regional provider offering everything from strong primary care to advanced specialty clinics. For a city of this scale, the depth of services is striking, and it's one reason many retirees and remote workers choose Greenville when they want beauty and dependable care in the same place. Affordability remains within reach, even as the city grows. Median home price, $385,000, Zillow, 2025 est. A 1 to 2 bedroom rental typically falls between $200,000 to $500. The cost of living sits just slightly below the national average, a rare pairing for a city with a walkable downtown, mountain views, and an active wellness culture that shapes everything from weekend markets to neighborhood trails. Greenville's upsides are easy to feel in the rhythm of the day. The medical system is regionally respected. The downtown, compact, tree-lined, and genuinely walkable, encourages preventive care habits simply by making movement enjoyable. And the sense of community, from fitness classes to local cafes, reinforces a feeling of steadiness. There are trade-offs, of course. Greenville's popularity is rising, and with it, housing demand. Summers bring heat and humidity that settle in for a while. Yet even with those realities, the city's balance of care, charm, and livability remains strong. Picture early sunlight over Falls Park, water drifting beneath the footbridge, and residents heading to morning checkups on foot. A soft reminder that healthcare can feel effortless when a city is built around well-being. At number 9, we arrive in Cedar Rapids, a Midwest city that quietly delivers some of the most reliable healthcare in the region. Nothing here shouts for attention. Instead, the city earns trust through steadiness, predictable costs, strong primary care, and a medical culture built on calm competence. Cedar Rapids is supported by 2 major healthcare anchors, Unity Point and Mercy Cedar Rapids. Together, they form a network that residents lean on for everything from routine checkups to long-term specialist care. For retirees, young families, and anyone planning life carefully on a fixed income, that level of reliability matters just as much as affordability. And affordability is where Cedar Rapids sets itself apart. Median home price, $225,000, Zillow, 2025 est. A simple 1 to 2 bedroom rental usually ranges from $900 to $2,200. With a cost of living roughly 10 to 12% below the national average, the day-to-day math works out cleanly. Groceries, gas, and medical visits rarely bring unwelcome surprises. Stable neighborhoods reinforce that feeling, offering a sense of continuity that many viewers quietly hope to find. Patient satisfaction runs high here, partly because the city isn't trying to be something it's not. Services run on time, clinics stay organized, and people tend to feel seen rather than rushed. The trade-offs are straightforward. Winters can stretch on with a quiet persistence, and nightlife or big city amenities are limited. But Cedar Rapids has its own kind of peace, a dependable rhythm that settles in once you've lived here a while. Think of a winter afternoon where snow falls softly against clinic windows, and everything still runs smoothly. In a world where healthcare can feel complicated, this kind of predictability is its own comfort. At number 8, Bangor offers coastal calm paired with a level of medical quality that's rare for a city of its size. This is a northern haven where pine forests, quiet streets, and dependable healthcare create a life that feels steady, grounded, and gently held by its surroundings. The city is anchored by Northern Light Eastern Maine Medical Center, a respected regional hospital serving much of northern and eastern Maine. For retirees, chronic care patients, and anyone seeking a quieter pace without sacrificing access, Bangor provides a blend that feels almost tailor-made. Specialists are accessible, primary care is consistent, and the overall experience tends to be more personal than hurried. Affordability sits in a comfortable middle. Median home price, $310,000. Zillow, 2025 Oro Est. Rent for a 1 to 2 bedroom generally ranges from $100 or $400. The cost of living hovers near the U.S. average, but the trade-off is a remarkably calm environment, low noise levels, minimal traffic, and a landscape that encourages slow breathing. For many, that quiet is its own kind of medicine. Bangor's upsides extend beyond the numbers. The hospital's regional strength offers peace of mind. Daily errands aren't a battle against congestion, and the community feels woven together in a way that smaller northern cities often do. Not flashy, just steady and present. There are realities to consider. Winters can be cold and lengthy, and flight access is more limited than in larger main cities. But what Bangor lacks in convenience, it often makes up for in clarity. A life shaped by clean air, close care, and neighbors who tend to look out for one another. Picture morning fog rising over the Penobscot River as nurses start their day. The city waking slowly, quietly, a place where nature and healthcare coexist in a calm, reassuring balance. At number 7, Fort Wayne reminds us that affordability and excellent healthcare don't need to sit on opposite sides of a scale. This is a pragmatic Midwestern city, practical, welcoming, steady, yet supported by medical systems with capabilities far larger than its footprint suggests. Two major providers, Parkview Health and Lutheran Health, shape the heart of care here. Parkview's expanding campuses and specialty centers give residents access to advanced services close to home, while Lutheran offers long-standing community care. Together, they create an ecosystem where appointments are easier to secure, wait times tend to stay reasonable, and commutes rarely consume the day. For retirees, families, and budget-conscious professionals, that combination becomes a quiet but meaningful advantage. Affordability is one of Fort Wayne's strongest anchors. Median home price, $240,000. Zillow, 2025 Est. Rent for a 1 to 2 bedroom apartment usually ranges from $950 down to $250. With a cost of living roughly 10 to 15% below the national average, everyday expenses, groceries, gas, even prescription costs often feel refreshingly predictable. Wide green spaces and calm suburban pockets add to the sense of ease. Fort Wayne isn't without its trade-offs. Winters can settle into long stretches of gray, and the cultural nightlife is modest compared with larger cities. But most residents lean into the city's strengths. Short drives, straightforward routines, and a medical landscape that keeps expanding in thoughtful ways. Imagine pulling into a modern clinic with no hunt for parking, stepping inside without the pressure of a crowded waiting room, and feeling that subtle relief when a city simply works the way it should. That's the quiet promise of Fort Wayne: low stress, strong care, and a life built on steady ground. At number 6, Rochester offers something genuinely unmatched. World-class care held within the calm, measured frame of a small Midwestern city. Life here feels steady, orderly, and reassuring. Yet the medical capability surrounding you is nothing short of extraordinary. Rochester is home to the Mayo Clinic, a name that carries weight across the globe. For people managing chronic conditions, navigating complex diagnoses, or simply wanting the highest standard of care within reach, Mayo's presence reshapes what daily life can feel like. Specialists are accessible, preventive care is deeply rooted in the culture, and the entire city seems to move with an understanding of how important health is to the people who live and travel here. Affordability reflects the premium of that access. Median home price, $410,000. Zillow, 2025 Est. Rent for a 1 to 2 bedroom generally falls around $2,300 to $1,650. The cost of living sits slightly above the national average, but many residents feel the difference is offset by the level of care, the reliability of services, and the security of having one of the world's most respected medical institutions just minutes away. Rochester's neighborhoods are clean and well-kept, shaped by tree-lined streets and a research community that brings a thoughtful, grounded energy to everyday life. The walkable medical campus creates a sense of ease. No sprawling maze, no frantic pace, just a clear, organized environment built around helping people heal. Of course, realities remain. Housing runs higher than in many Midwest cities, and winters arrive with a cold edge that stays for a while. But even then, the city carries a certain calm, a feeling that things are under control. Picture crisp air moving through orderly streets, and a hospital campus known around the world standing quietly at the center. In Rochester, healthcare isn't just available, it's exceptional. At number 5, Johnson City blends Appalachian warmth with accessible, well-regarded healthcare. A combination that feels both practical and deeply comforting. This is a mountain city shaped by soft ridgelines, friendly streets, and a medical system that stays within reach for the people who rely on it most. Care here is anchored by Ballad Health and a network of specialty centers that serve much of Northeast Tennessee. Appointments are generally easy to book, specialists are close by, and residents often describe the experience as straightforward rather than stressful. For retirees, veterans, and remote workers, that predictability becomes part of the city's quiet appeal. Affordability remains one of Johnson City's strongest foundations. Median home price, $285,000, Zillow, 2025 Eterdi. Rent for a 1 to 2 bedroom typically ranges from $1,000 to $300. The overall cost of living sits comfortably below the U.S. average, giving households room to breathe. The kind of breathing space that matters when health needs fluctuate. Layer in the surrounding Appalachian scenery, and you get an environment where simply stepping outside can lower shoulders and slow heart rates. Johnson City isn't without its realities. Regional demand sometimes creates brief bottlenecks for certain services, and summers carry a humid edge that settles into the valley. But even with those trade-offs, life here tends to feel manageable, warm, and grounded. What gives the city its character is the blend of mountain quiet and college town energy. Cafes humming softly in the morning, students biking past older neighborhoods, ridges framing the horizon like folded pages. Imagine a gentle sunset over the Appalachians, clinic lights glowing softly across the valley, and the sense that healthcare doesn't have to be overwhelming to be good. Johnson City holds that balance with ease. At number 4, Fargo surprises with a healthcare system far stronger than many expect. This northern small city is defined by a sense of efficiency, clean streets, organized services, and a medical network that consistently performs above its size. Fargo's care is anchored by Sanford Health, a major regional provider whose reach extends across the Dakotas and Minnesota. For retirees, remote workers, and families, that means dependable access to specialists, short wait times, and preventive care metrics that rival larger metros. There's a practicality here, a feeling that the system is built to function smoothly even on the coldest mornings. Affordability rests in a balanced middle. Median home price, $315,000. Zillow, 2025 Est. A 1 to 2 bedroom rental typically ranges from $1,050 to $1,350. With a cost of living close to the U.S. average, residents often describe the city as financially predictable. No dramatic swings, no sharp surprises. An expanding medical workforce brings new clinics, research initiatives, and updated campuses that make care even more accessible. Of course, Fargo comes with its own northern realities. Winters are harsh, stretching across months with that familiar Midwestern patience. And the flat landscape, open and exposed to the wind, may not appeal to those seeking mountains or rolling hills. Yet many find comfort in the city's clarity, wide skies, well-maintained roads, and a community that knows how to move through winter without losing momentum. What stands out most is Fargo's steadiness. It's a place where reliability isn't a slogan. It's the daily norm. Picture sunrise hitting icy rooftops as medical shuttles glide through quiet streets. The city waking with a sense of order and competence. In Fargo, healthcare feels both capable and calm. A rare combination, especially this far north. At number 3, Boise reminds us that outdoor living and quality healthcare can exist side by side, not as competing priorities, but as parts of the same, steady lifestyle. This western city moves with a gentle confidence, shaped by clean air, golden foothills, and a medical system that continues to grow with intention. Boise's care is anchored by two respected providers, St. Luke's and St. Alphonsus. Together, they form a network of high-rated hospitals, specialty centers, and primary care clinics that serve much of the Treasure Valley. The culture here leans heavily toward preventive care, and that shows up in everything from wellness programs to the simple reality that people spend a lot of time outside. For active retirees, families, and remote workers, that blend of movement and medical access creates a lifestyle that feels both energized and deeply supported. Affordability sits in a more complex place. Median home price of $525,000, Zillow, 2026 est. Rent for a 1 to 2 bedroom usually ranges from $1,350–$1,750. The cost of living is slightly above the national average, a reflection of Boise's rising popularity and the growth that has reshaped the valley over the past decade. Even so, many residents find that the elevated housing costs are balanced by clean surroundings, strong hospital systems, and an everyday rhythm that reduces stress. Boise's trade-offs are mostly tied to its success. Housing remains on the higher side, and the city's rapid growth constrains some services. But the benefits, safety, air quality, wellness culture, and dependable medical access continue to define the overall experience. Picture the foothills glowing gold as cyclists glide past early morning clinics, the city easing into another clear, bright day. In Boise, the outdoors and healthcare don't compete for your attention. They support the same vision of a healthier, calmer life. At number 2, Winston-Salem offers a rare blend. Research-level care wrapped in the approachable pace of a small southern city. This is a place where the streets stay leafy, the neighborhoods feel lived in, and the region's medical knowledge runs remarkably deep. The city is home to Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist, an academic medical center known for its research, its breadth of specialties, and its steady, thoughtful approach to patient care. For retirees, renters, and anyone who relies on consistent medical support, having that kind of institution close by changes the way everyday life feels. Appointments are accessible, specialist networks are strong, and the atmosphere is more grounded than the sprawling metros usually associated with academic hospitals. Affordability is another quiet strength. Median home price, $265,000, Zillow, 2026 est. Rent for a 1 to 2 bedroom typically ranges from $150,000–$350. With a cost of living below the U.S. average, Winston-Salem gives residents room to manage both healthcare and daily expenses without the tight squeeze found in many larger cities. Its artsy neighborhoods, historic homes, and gently winding streets add a sense of character that never feels forced. Like all places, Winston-Salem has its realities. Humidity settles in during summer, and many errands still require a car. But the city's calm rhythm tends to smooth the edges. Quiet mornings, neighborly interactions, and districts where preserved architecture meets modern clinics. Picture those neighborhoods at dusk, porch lights blinking on one by one, and just beyond them, a world-class hospital center, glowing in the evening light. In Winston-Salem, advanced care doesn't float above everyday life. It sits right beside it, steady and welcoming. At number 1, we arrive in Ann Arbor, a small city where healthcare feels less like a system and more like a promise. Life here moves with a thoughtful, almost academic calm. Tree-lined streets, tucked-away cafes, and a strong cultural fabric surround a medical community that stands among the best in the country. Ann Arbor is powered by Michigan Medicine, a world-class institution whose reach extends far beyond Michigan. For retirees prioritizing top-tier care, for remote workers who want stability, and for lifelong learners drawn to the energy of a university town, this is a place where research and compassion sit side by side. Specialists are abundant, preventive care is deeply ingrained, and complex medical needs are handled with a level of expertise that brings real peace of mind. Affordability reflects the quality of access here. Median home price, $520,000, Zillow, 2026 est. Rent for a 1 to 2 bedroom typically ranges from $500 to $2,000. The cost of living is above average, shaped by housing demand and the steady rhythm of university seasons. Yet many residents feel that the trade-off is worth it. The combination of care, walkability, cultural richness, and intellectual energy creates a daily life that feels both supportive and inspiring. Ann Arbor's upsides are clear: elite hospital rankings, extraordinary specialty care, and neighborhoods that invite slow walks beneath old maples. Still, the city has its realities. Housing costs run high, and university seasons can bring a busier pulse to the streets. But when the noise settles, Ann Arbor returns to what it does best, offering a life that feels both warm and deeply capable. Picture golden leaves drifting across a hospital courtyard, research labs glowing softly behind windows, and everyday patients moving through a place where discovery and care flow together quietly. In Ann Arbor, good health isn't just an option, it's woven into the very character of the city. Healthcare isn't just a service, it's the quiet foundation of how safe we feel, how long we stay rooted, and how confidently we age. These small cities show that strong care doesn't require crowds, chaos, or overwhelming costs. Sometimes the calmest places on the map offer the deepest support, a sense of stability, a life where you can breathe, plan, and move through each day with a little more ease. Ann Arbor earns the top spot, not because it is inexpensive, it isn't, but because it represents something deeper about what people increasingly need from the places they choose to call home. Good healthcare isn't only about treatments or advanced technology. It's about how a city orients itself around the belief that people deserve to feel cared for, not just processed through a system. In Ann Arbor, that philosophy is woven into the everyday landscape. Michigan medicine sets a remarkably high standard, yes, but the city around it reinforces the same idea. Preventive wellness matters, mental well-being matters, and ease matters. Side streets shaded by old maples lead to neighborhood clinics that feel calm rather than clinical. Cafes, bookstores, and quiet courtyards sit just steps from specialist centers, softening the edges of what can often be stressful experiences elsewhere. And the research culture, steady, thoughtful, forward-looking, trickles down even into routine care, giving residents the sense that their health is in capable hands. What makes Ann Arbor exceptional is how seamlessly healthcare fits into daily life. It isn't an emergency resource that sits in the background. It's a reliable companion that allows people to live with confidence. Here, the promise isn't perfection, it's stability. And that leads to the deeper insight of today's journey. This isn't just about cost. It's about the kind of life you're able to live when healthcare works, when specialists aren't hours away, when appointments aren't overwhelming, when the system supports you instead of draining you. Everything else opens up. Energy returns. Plans feel possible. In a country where stability can feel fragile, Ann Arbor offers a quiet reminder of what it looks like when healthcare supports the human spirit as much as the body. Today, we explored 12 small American cities where healthcare remains accessible, affordable, and grounded in real human care. Each one offers its own kind of reassurance: a calm hospital corridor, a reliable specialty center, a strong preventive care mindset, or simply a community where the cost of staying healthy doesn't overshadow the joy of daily life. These places remind us that stability is still possible, even when the world feels uncertain. Whether you're planning retirement, caring for aging parents, managing a chronic condition, or imagining a quieter future, I hope one of these cities brought a bit of clarity, or even relief. Peaceful living isn't gone. It has just settled into different corners of the map. Which place spoke to you, and why? If you'd like more grounded, peaceful stories of real American living, subscribing truly helps this channel grow. For real-world escapes, not fantasies.